Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture is My Life. Now, in today's episode, I sort of want to take a small break from doing podcasts with regard to requests that are made of Acupuncture is My Life to discuss via the Acupuncture is My Life app. And by the way, if you don't already own the app, download it. It's free. There's so many benefits to owning it. But I want to say, or I want to touch on a topic, rather, that I've encountered a lot in my experience in practicing acupuncture over the past few years. And that is some of the ways or some of the things that individuals are doing that are making them more forgetful. Now, individuals faced with issues pertaining to memory and so forth, acupuncture is great for it. But then here's one of the awesome things about acupuncturists. It's never about getting you to come in to treat a certain ailment for an extended period of time. The main objective is that balance between yin and yang. Harmonious flow of qi and blood throughout the entire body, putting the body in a position where it can self-regulate, sort of like reset itself. Okay, that's what it's about. It's not, okay, you're suffering from memory issues or forgetfulness, we'll see you for the next 20 years and treat you for that. It doesn't work like that with acupuncture. And that's what makes it's one of the many things that makes it so awesome. Because usually once a patient is feeling better, most patients tend to want to continue periodically, for regular wellness visits, whether it's just once a month, once every season, once every 6 months, because they grow to understand the benefits of acupuncture. This is why I say, along with seeing a physician on an annual basis, seeing acupuncturists for regular wellness visits, you can't go wrong. Okay? But understand something. We all partake in habits that can negatively impact our memory. And would do what everyone else we all tend to do is tie it to age. Oh my gosh, I'm getting older, so my memory's going. And a lot of times that's not the case. You'll notice yourself forgetting little things like you may look at a text on your phone and say, I got to respond to that, and then you'll forget. You will have made an appointment and then you forgot about it. You may put your keys down somewhere and you don't remember where you put it. I mean, you may have even parked in a parking lot, a huge parking lot, and then forget where you parked. And then you'll grow upset with yourself and then begin to get into this soul searching way of things to say, what could this be tied to? And the end result is your age. You have to understand, we all forget things every now and then. All right? We tend to forget things every now and then. And it's based on our lifestyle. You ever think of a word, you know there's a word that fits to complete your sentence and it's right on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't think of it at the moment. There's something important that you have to do. You know you have to do it, but you can't remember. You know, these things can be frustrating. But understand something. It's not always tied to your age. And there are certain things that you may be doing on a daily basis that can exacerbate your forgetfulness. And you won't even realize. And sitting with an acupuncturist, they'll get you to understand it. There's many or numerous common habits that can make you forget some of the simplest things. See, there are certain things that you're doing throughout the day that you don't realize affects your memory. What could be one of them? Something I speak of so often, and it's not getting enough sleep. You have to understand something. There are numerous benefits to getting a good night's sleep, both quality and quantity. Because a good night's sleep, for one, improves your memory. Lack of sleep can negatively affect your ability to learn new things by up to, let's say, about 45%. Why? Because lack of sleep negatively impacts the hippocampus, which is a part of your brain. That part of your brain is responsible for new memories. And sleep allows the brain to restore itself. Why? Because there's certain proteins that accumulate in the brain that can only flush out when you're sleeping. And it requires certain stages of sleep, including REM sleep, which is associated with memory consolidation, the processing of newly learned information. That's how it gets transformed into long-term memory. So think about that. You know, you're forgetting a lot. You're struggling to learn new things. Think first. Am I getting a good night's sleep? Am I getting quality sleep at night? Anywhere between 7 and 9 hours, but, you know, closer to 7 is better. Because not getting enough sleep, or the quality of your sleep being terrible, it can make you more forgetful. And so many individuals are unaware of that. Why? Because the new information that you're learning is not being stored in your long-term memory. So it's more likely to be forgotten. You're having sleep issues. I've said this a million times. See an acupuncturist. But if you're seeing an acupuncturist for regular wellness visits, more times than not, you're not going to be having sleep issues. You know, because sleep is heavily tied to how well you can focus and how much you can pay attention. And these two things are very, very critical when it comes to memory. So when you're not getting enough sleep, you're less attentive, you're less focused, you're less energetic. And when you're less attentive, you're less likely to retain information. Goes hand in hand. So if you're regularly skipping out on sleep because you want to hang out with your friends and you want to do some extra drinking and partying, and like so many individuals say, I'm living life to the fullest. But, you know, part of that is getting a good night's sleep. So if you're regularly missing out on a quality night's sleep, a good night's sleep, you're more likely to be forgetful. That's because the attention parts of our brain, especially in the prefrontal cortex, it's not going to be sharp because you're not getting enough sleep. So if you notice you're finding yourself forgetting a lot, first ask yourself, are you getting enough sleep? Another, and a lot of you stay-at-home moms all over the world, acupuncturists see you guys a lot for forgetfulness, memory, and your concern. Why? Because multitasking can play a part in that. Because forgetfulness is more times than not, it's an attention problem. So being as attentive as possible, as focused as possible, is an important part of remembering information. So if you're not paying full attention to something and you find yourself being constantly distracted, guess what? You're not in a mental state to retain information. And then boom. A day or two later, you asked about something the day before or earlier in the week and you can't remember. And then there you go again. You're equating it to your age, and it's not always the case. Because distraction is involved in multitasking. You can't focus on one thing. And being involved in various tasks at the same time, it can actually lead to being less productive and more forgetful. Try focusing on one thing at a time. And if you don't know how, first start out by trying to time block things. Split tasks. So that you can better manage activities with small breaks in between. But many individuals overlook the fact that multitasking can affect your memory. Because doing too many things at once, oh my gosh, it taxes the brain out. Think about it in terms of a vehicle, right? Let's say you want to drive slow and fast, forwards and backwards at the same time. How does it work? I'm being extreme, but in other words, it can't work. Do one thing at a time. You know, another thing that can affect your or habit that can affect your memory. And I know you're going to roll your eyes, but I say this all the time, it's not exercising. Living a sedentary lifestyle, not moving your body enough. And I say this over and over because exercise is extremely important for your health, including your memory. Why? Because exercise increases blood flow to the brain. And it also helps protect brain cells. So now that you know this, if you didn't know before, incorporate exercise into your schedule some way, somehow. Even if it's just brisk walks, some jumping jacks, skip rope, a few times up and down a flight of steps. You can be very creative. You could just stand in one place and just do full body squats. Just go up and down 10 times and then go back to work and get up about, 10 minutes. Stand behind your chair, do it again. So many things you can do. But exercise increases blood flow to the brain and it helps protect brain cells. And sedentary habits tend to be tied to the thinning in some brain regions that are important for memory. So just basic exercise, nothing strenuous, because I still get messages over the Acupuncture is My Life app from many of you saying, I don't have time to get to the gym and then get home and then take a shower. You don't have to go to the gym to get exercise. You can even just wake up 15 minutes before. Let's say if you get up 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. prepare for work. Get up at 6:45 or 5:45. Do some exercise before you jump in the shower. Do some exercise. 15 minutes before. Then you get home before you go to bed. Let's say you want to go to bed at 10, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So 8:45 or 9:45, just, do some exercise in the house. Push-ups, sit-ups, planks, jumping jacks. Now you got your 30 minutes a day. You just split it in half. That's all you did. And you never entered the gym. So when I say exercise, it doesn't mean you have to go to the gym and just blow out on some killer weightlifting or strenuous spin classes, Zumba class or something. No. Doesn't have to be strenuous, but some type of exercise tends to help reduce the risk of many common illnesses that are tied to memory loss, including high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. And I could sit here for about a week and name many, many more. Maybe I'll do an episode on that. I'm glad I'm doing this one because I'm sure it's helping. And I hope this podcast helps many of you who are concerned about memory loss. And the first thing you want to do is just tie it to age. You have individuals, I know personally individuals that are in their late 80s where their memory is like sharp. You can't get anything past them because they exercise. And they add to it by doing crossword puzzles, reading books, and things like that. They're in social groups. These things are important. Super important. Because the bottom line is health is wealth. The wealth is not in an app on your phone. It's not in a cryptocurrency account. The wealth is not in a safe, nor is it in the bank. It's not in your wallet. It's not in your purse, nor is it in your pocket. And the wealth definitely is not under the mattress. It's not in the shoebox in the closet, nor is it under the doghouse in the backyard. The wealth is in you. And I'm sure you're aware of this. This is why you listen to Acupuncture is My Life podcast. But you know what else? There are quite a few things that can affect your memory. Quite a few. But I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback or questions over the app. Again, if you do not own the Acupuncture in My Life app, download it. It's to your benefit. It's free. So much you can learn from owning that app. But I'm going to get many of you that are going to bring up other things. You're going to have questions, and I welcome that. But I also want many of you to see an acupuncturist. And I'm going to continue this discussion in the next episode. But let this podcast serve as food for thought. To hopefully get you to better understand how some of your daily habits can lead you to forget a lot. let today's podcast sink in. And I'll continue with another one, the next one. Because there's so much out there that you're doing on a daily basis that plays a part in memory loss or forgetfulness. And it's important that you're made aware of it. And also informed to make acupuncture a part of your life. Because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?